Hello, I just got to take a couple of minutes to talk about tapping. Tapping is one of the energy psychology modalities that are available. In energy psychology, there are many, many different things. If you take a dive into this world, it's fascinating to see what's available. Tapping is also known as EFT or Emotional Freedom Technique. It was one of the really the first that came out. And Gary Craig, an engineer, took a more complex model based on instant emotional freedom, I believe was the name of the book. And he sort of distilled it down into a less complex model. And that model is still reduced down into what we know today as tapping. And there are offshoots of this as well. The tapping is based on meridians in the body. If you've ever had acupuncture or if you know anything about traditional Chinese medicine, they have points on the body. So there's this one right here called large intestine 4, and often the acupuncturist will put a needle in there, and this affects the large intestinal function. But it's not really about the intestinal tract, it's more about balancing the 5 different areas of the body that have to do with the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the liver, and the kidneys are the main different organs that traditional Chinese medicine looks at. So there are many different meridians in the body, many different acupuncture points that are on these meridians, and the needles are designed to help move the qi or the life force energy. But as we tap on these spots, that also moves the chi or the life force energy. So it's a way that you can use these this ability to move this energy and do this by yourself. So tapping is one way. And if you look at the introductory video for the tapping, you'll see the key spots, but I'll just go over them again. It's the side of the hand. Either hand is fine, so you can tap on one hand or you can tap on both hands like that. Start of the eyebrows, so there's 2 points right here, says bilateral meridians, meridian here. Side of the eye, under under the nose in that natural indent, under the chin on that natural indent. Collarbone is just a natural indent here, so you could tap with your fingers or tap with a flat hand. Under the arm is kind of seam bra line, so I just tend to do a flat hand, but you could do fingertips. Top of the head is the crown. So all the meridians come and meet together in the top of the crown. So those are the basic tapping points. There's another tapping point in the back of the hand called the gamut point, and that point is well known for panic and very intense emotions. So you can use that point just by itself. Any of the points can be used by themselves, but you could do that like that. And you don't have to tap. So you could hold, you could rub, any of those. So sometimes I'll just kind of hold this point here and just kind of either hold or rub, and be listening to somebody else in conversation and just know that I'm kind of centering my energy and grounding myself by doing so. Tapping works really well with negative thoughts and emotions, but it also works as well with the positive. The basic recipe is, even though I have this blank, I love and accept myself anyway, or whatever your tail end phrase would be. So even though I have this anxiety, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. And you might want to tap along with me. Even though I have all this anxiety, I'm a good person. I love and accept myself anyway, even though I have this anxiety. I would like to feel better. I would like some relief. And maybe I could feel better. This anxiety, all this anxiety, these anxious feelings, all these anxious feelings I have, all this anxiety, these anxious feelings, these anxious feelings, all this anxiety. And take a deep breath and see how you feel. It's a good habit to get into, which I completely skipped over, but a good habit to get into before you do the tapping to rate how you're feeling on a 0 to 10 scale. So 0 to 10, the intensity of the tapping, the intensity of the feeling that I have might be a 7. And as I do the tapping, has come down nicely to maybe a 4 or 5. That's a nice big drop. But even at a 4 or 5, maybe I want to bring that down anymore. So we have what's called a remainder phrase, where you just tap all these anxious feelings, all this anxiety, all these anxious feelings, this feeling of anxiety that I'm having right now. I'm just acknowledging this anxiety. I'm bringing this anxiety down. I'm acknowledging this anxiety. I'm allowing this anxiety. And maybe some or all of this anxiety could let go. Allowing this anxiety and giving myself permission to let some or even all of this anxiety go. Take a deep breath, check in on how you're feeling, and just keep tapping. And again, you don't have to do all of the points, you can just do one point. I like this point because I can rest my hand on my leg and just be tapping. And maybe I'm watching a movie, maybe I'm on a in a meeting or on a call, and I can just have my hands outside of the screen of the window and be lightly tapping, holding or rubbing. Tapping is one modality. There is another one that I quite like that you don't need the words to use. So when I do tapping, I sometimes get quite creative and I'll tap on what my client has told me as to what specifically is happening. So being specific can be happening, tap on this thing that she said in that meeting, my feeling of shame or humiliation as a result when I saw that red ball and how I felt. So as you get yourself into very specific words about how you're feeling with it, you may find you're more effective with bringing the numbers down quicker and easier. And sometimes I'm in an upset mood and I have no idea even what the upset is. I have no idea what the emotion is. And I'll just tap. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what the feeling is. I know I just feel really, really bad. I have no idea why I'm feeling this way. I have no idea how I can help myself feel better. I'm just tapping, 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 tapping on how I'm feeling and just acknowledging that right here, right now, I don't feel so good. You can also tap on feeling tired, tap on pain. You can tap on, this headache, this pain in my knee, this upset, this whatever. So there's no end to how creative you can be with this. You could tap on somebody else's upset. So there's lots of different ways around that. This is just a short video on how you can use this in some different ways in your life. And sometimes I find people get hung up on, well, what do I say? I heard the tapping you did, but I don't know what words to use. So if you're feeling a bit hung up on the words, then what you could do, there's another modality called the havening. And you can just have this ability when we do this, we're kind of soothing ourselves and calming ourselves. And especially in this day and age of COVID, where it's harder to get hugs, it's harder to have that physical connection sometimes with others, depending on your life experience, that I can soothe myself, I can calm myself, and I can know that maybe I'm feeling agitated and I have no idea what this is about and no idea what words to put to it, but I can just acknowledge this feeling and just calm myself with this feeling and know that somehow, in some way, things will get better. And when we have emotions, just to know that it's just an emotion, it's a feeling. Feelings come and feelings go. And I'm not going to feel this way forever. And I will feel better, perhaps sometime soon, perhaps in a while. But as I just give myself permission to let myself remember that right here, right now, I'm safe, everything's okay. I don't know what's going to happen in my future, and that's okay. Right here, right now, could I let myself just have some moments of peace? Could I let myself know that everything's okay? So I offer this to you. We live in some pretty uncertain times, and there's a lot going on in the planet. And if you have ways of just bringing some calm to yourself or to a loved one, perhaps that could be helpful. Perhaps that can just help you get through the rest of your day, maybe have a bit of a better sleep. I look forward to your input, your thoughts, your ideas. Give a shout. You can email me or give me a call, Sean@childbirthjoy.com or 416-255-8333. And thank you for listening.